got to get a new tube for our lighting. So, false water cobras, I've kept them for way over a decade, maybe 15 years, and been breeding them since they were sort of properly mature. We've got 2 of them, and we've got an access point. They can get through to each other should we want to breed them or let them get together. They do cohab well, but big ones can eat small ones. They definitely are snake eaters. And also, if you cohab a pair, the males are sex mad for 2 huge parts of the year especially, and they become sex pests. But it'd be nice to keep a couple of females together especially, rear them together, make sure they're the same size. But yeah, hatchlings eat each other, adults can eat each other, but you can cohab them. But I'm going to talk about keeping these guys as pet snakes. Rear fang venomous, highly food motivated. Do they even make good pets? Well, let me tell you why they don't make good pets. Because if you're a lazy reptile keeper, they're definitely not for you. Being a colubrid, they do a kind of a more of a runny, splat, smelly poo compared to pythons and boas. And these are right up there with the regular runny, splatty poo for sure. These guys here, they have a bit of intelligence for a snake. They have a fast metabolism, and they can't eat huge meals like a python. So they need regular feedings of small animals compared to, well, nothing thicker than the thick part of their body. A medium rat is all this 7-foot girl can manage. So they eat often, highly active, high metabolism. They poo within 2 or 3 days, usually, of eating. Now, there's an Asian water monitor up there. That guy eats a belly full and poos every couple of days in his water bowl, easy to clean and drain. She's looking pretty gravid, this girl. Now, if you keep a false water cobra, it's a monitor lizard that's lost its legs in much of the way it behaves. But you need regular cleaning. This isn't for the pet keeper that every Sunday morning they clean out their snakes. Your house would stink. A good substrate choice, spot cleaning as soon as they do a poo for sure. So that's one reason they don't make good pets. But these are not a child's pet. They have quite a strong constriction, some of the males, even though they're not constrictors. Weird. And they're rear fanged. That's not a problem. If you're scared of snakes, it might be. But these guys make the most perfectly handleable animals, unless you've messed up the feed response and you underfeed your false water cobra. This isn't a 1 mouse a week while it's growing. This is every 4 to 5 days feeding while it's growing. Lots of small regular items and keeping reasonably well fed, or they will come out and they will attack anything. Not attacking to be nasty, attacking to get it hold of it before it passes by, before the opportunity is missed. A very hungry falsie moves like lighting. Holding food in your hands, scented by the rat, snake misses, comes launching out its viv. It's going by that smell way more than the visuals. If they get hold of you, like a dry mark on an indigo snake, they have an incredibly strong bite. They can't expand their jaws wide, but it's well formed. It gives them a strong bite, very sharp teeth, bleeds profusely, clamps on hard, and technically, if you then let them chew on, and these things swallow, their bottom jaws work like a machine to take food down the gullet. They will get your thumb and get it down pretty quick. Once those back fangs are in place, occasionally a handful of people get incredibly swollen hands and arms reacting to that rear fang venom. I've had my thumb down her throat 3 times by accident, being careless and lazy and quick with the feeding. Bleeds well, never had any reaction at all. Never had any reaction from all the babies that have bitten me during sexing. But some people do, some people do. No one's ever had anything serious. But they are rear fang venomous. Do you need to handle these like a venomous snake? No. I think these make the best pet snake for grown-ups, without a doubt. Why do they make the best pets? Huge, glossy scales with no keel, so beautiful to feel. Big, shiny, armoured scales. Really smooth. The Brazilian smooth snake is another of their common names. So intelligent. They recognise you. They'll come out when they see you. Give me some food. They know you're the one that feeds them. Active, so when you get them out, they'll be roaming around. They'll roam around on you on the settee. They'll roam around the floor. They'll roam around in your arms. They don't sit still for very long at all. But it makes them incredibly tactile. A proper pet snake. And of course, who wants a pet rock or a snake that comes out at night and you've always got an empty looking enclosure? That's most snakes. Most snakes people keep. Of course, water cobras, they're out nearly all of the time. And unlike a lot of snakes, they don't have to grow too big before their confidence grows. Most hatchling snakes, they inherently know their food for anything. They're a worm for anything. A frog, a bird, a lizard, another snake. These guys, they get bold way quicker than most snakes. So you generally have a pet snake. You have a snake that people go, what kind of snake's that in there? Not what's in there. What kind of snake's that in there? Now, she's been well fed lately, but yeah, look at that scale spread. They have a breeding season in late autumn, and spring is their two main breeding seasons, and she has been paired. So she's having a lot of food now to get that body mass up, because they do lose body mass. This will lay maybe 20 eggs the size of hen's eggs for sure. A snake that you can pet, that you can see, that has something going on in there. It's interesting. If you like animal behaviour training, you could certainly do some with a false water cobra for sure. Very easy to keep. We've done various videos on the channel. Very easy to keep. The only thing is, don't let their substrate get soaking wet. They'll get scale rot, and whoa. Also, wow, she is so fat. Also, don't overheat them. It's not a python. Hot spot of around 28 degrees Celsius down to sort of 20, 22 at the cool end. These guys like it cooler, not overheating. And of course, if it's your kind of thing, you've got a pet snake that flares its neck like a cobra. Occasionally, some do more than others. She almost never does, because she doesn't need to. She doesn't feel threatened. But you've got a snake that's called a cobra in its name. You can tell your mates it's venomous, and for some people that seems very important. A bit of kudos, and yeah, cobra in its name. Of course, not related at all to any of the cobras or even the king cobra, but it has that neck flattening ability. Beautiful. And they come in all different colours now. This is a dark natural type. Let me show you a paler male. Wow, look at that. There you go. He's ready to shed. He's in blue. He's got the right hump. He hoods up most of the time I pick him up. I've had both of them from a hatchling, but there's your cobra. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. So he's not looking his best. He's all dull. His eyes are all blue. He's really cold. Bless him. But there you are. There's your cobra look. So he's a pale phase. They occur in the wild. It's a pale morph, but a wild naturally occurring. But he's gone dark now, ready to shed. Bless him. Let's see. I don't know if you can see that. Really cold today. So he's cooled down quite a lot in the winter. I let him cool down more than the female if I've paired them in the autumn, of course. But look at that. So another thing that makes him a cool, the best pet snake for a grown-up. This is a fully grown male. You'll notice do you know what? He's only a few inches shorter, but he's half the snake. They just get smaller and slimmer than the females. So absolutely beautiful. But even a male, you know, you get yourself a python because it sounds cool, it's going to get big. It will get big. Most of those pythons you're going to get, I'm going to get a retic or a Burmese. Whoa, it's just going to get too big for your house. It's going to get too big for the enclosures you put it in. It's just going to be too much work to handle and to look after. Whereas this, it's a snake. No one's going to see your adult female or even your male false water cobra and go, oh, that's little. They're going to go, whoa, blooming heck, look at the size of it. But realistically, it's not that big when it comes to care and housing and handling. It's a big snake, but it's at the end of the big snake that's really, really sensible. Everything you need to handle and look impressive maybe, but you can accommodate its enclosure in most homes and you can handle it. Not the best pet snake because their feed response, a bit like a reticulated python, would preclude them from children to be working with them. This bite, forgetting the rear fang venom, this bite makes you bleed for sure. I wouldn't want any kid I know getting bitten by a falsie. Come on, you got your big pants on, put a plaster on it, rinse under the tap, you'll be all right, honestly, if you get bitten. Look at that. What a miserable looking swine, cold and in blue. But what a beautiful looking animal. You will not get a better pet snake if you're a grown up and you're confident with snakes anywhere than a false water cobra. They come in really pale phases. A friend of mine's just bred some grandchildren of this pair and he's given me one back, a king's phase with very, very pale head markings, but they come in hypo, really pale, to quite dark, to even lavenders. Prices from 50 quid to about £1,000 nowadays. You decide, but for 100 to 150 pounds, you can easily get an ordinary normal phase or a pale phase hatchling, false water cobra. And the only time it'll mess you about with feeding, mostly if it's a male, through the winter, whatever your temperatures, they'll often go off their food through those winter months. Nothing to worry about at all. Before I end this video, I'll show you that little pale one. Fresh water important with these guys. There's a poo. And there is the great granddaughter of that pair of snakes. What's known as a king's phase animal, so it's superbly hypo. And it's got weird pale head markings, which Rick Pellin, when he first bred these, coined them the king's phase. So it's going to be a lot paler than the male, but we'll see they do change as they grow up. What you buy as a hatchling is not what you get exactly, oops, daisy, as an adult. Fantastic hatchlings, beautiful babies to work with, and this is the size they hatch. It's only just started feeding. It's a nice size snake to start with for sure. Housing, very basic setup. Now I need to come and clean him out. Very basic setup on these hatchlings. Works well. Same to you, dog. Don't forget, like, subscribe, comment. Any one of those things really helps push the channel along. Catch you later.